There we go. Starting to get some people popping in here now. Hello, Tina. There we go. Hello, everyone. As I started, I just saw Bite come down the stairs here, and I realized I forgot the kitty treat. So hang on a second. I'll be right with you. No way we're going to coax Bite out of hiding if you're not going to feed him. Right, Bite? Hello, everyone. Nice Saturday afternoon here. Just got a nice little rainstorm blow through here. Got about a half inch of rain. That was all fun. What's up, Linda from Texas? How's the weather? Yeah, I had a little rain blow through here a few minutes ago. That was kind of nice. It was funny. They woke up this morning and there was no weather, nothing predicted. They said like 10% chance of rain, and then all of a sudden they went out to run a few errands, and the sky started turning really black, and started seeing a little bit of rain on the car, and then here we are. It's always nice when it rains a little bit here. It cools things off a bit. So yeah, we're down to the mid 80s now. Come on, man, you got to come up here and get something. No kitty treats if you don't come up and join the live stream. Come on, buddy. Come on. See if that bribes him up here. Wow, lightning hit your house? That sounds like exciting. I don't know if I'd want that to happen, but could be kind of exciting. Mid 70s in Minnesota. That'd be nice. It's like mid 80s here. So, but it was like mid 90s before the rain started. So it was nice. Did I get the lamp fixed? Yeah, you'll see that in about an hour or about 2 hours when I put it up. I don't know if Jordan's back home yet. Haven't talked to him. Well, when I talked to him, it didn't come up. So it's possible. He's usually like a week or so ahead of time. So especially when he goes out and does one of his travel vlogs. Yeah, I was seeing that it was raining pretty hard in Louisiana. Come on, Bite. You got to come up here and visit. Don't just lick your chops at me. Yeah, I know. I noticed I know he's been in New York for a while, but like a lot of times he gets way ahead because he'll like do 2 or 3 or 4 vlogs a day when he's out on a trip, and then he comes back and can take a few days, and so I don't know actually yet if he's back home yet. He may. How's Texas? I love Texas. We're getting to the point now where I think it's just starting to cool off a little bit. Starting to get a little bit close to getting ready for fall. Every day, basically, since I arrived here in May, it's been like upper 90s, low hundreds. And I'm seeing kind of over the next week or 10 days, it's supposed to get down into the low 90s, even maybe into the upper 80s. So everyone that lives here kind of says that, yeah, by the time we get into October, it'll start cooling down quite a bit. So looking forward to that. Come on, Bite. Everyone's saying hello to you, and you're not there. And what are you doing? You're over there licking the laundry detergent. Come on, man. I got better things over here for you. This is way tastier. Wish you could see his ears pop up whenever I do that. But he doesn't really want to come over here, does he? Do you, Bite? Come on, buddy. Come up here. Come here and say hi. Everyone wants to say hi to you. Come here. Yeah. You're just going to be that way, aren't you? You know, cats, it's on their own terms. That's how it always is. Yeah, I wonder what winter's going to be like here too. It's going to be way different because you know I've never been through a winter here in Texas. I was actually talking to somebody today and said, you know, and talking about what might happen, and they said, well, probably won't get a lot of snow, but you know, we might get a little. So we'll see. It was 60s in Kentucky. Wow, I could send a little of that down here. Yeah, well, Australia, it's like winter there, so that doesn't surprise me that it's nice and cool there. Nice mild winter. Nice. No job prospects yet. Kind of just keeping my ears open. You know, I kind of stopped really seriously looking really hard when that one started getting really likely. But I'm kind of back into the mix now, trying to figure out what else is going to happen. Ribs for dinner. That sounds good. Yeah, I could go for that. I haven't figured out what I'm going to have dinner for dinner yet. I went to the grocery store because I was like all out of like, meat and stuff like that. So I stocked up on that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have some chicken. I haven't had chicken in a while. Thanks, Linda. Great to see your text. Come on, no kitty treats unless you come up and say hi. Don't just sit there. Okay, well, no kitty treats until you come up. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know. You know, cats kind of live on their own terms. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go out for dinner tonight. I did a restaurant vlog yesterday, which I think you'll see on like Monday. What am I having for dinner? I've got some like corn on the cob in the fridge that I've been kind of dying to have and probably have just like I bought some like chicken breasts and I'll just put like a rub on it and put it in the oven for a while. Try saying meow, meow, bite. Come on up here, meow, meow. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Did you know that you can simmer corn in milk? Yeah, maybe that probably sounds good. I actually am really kind of a traditionalist with that. I just like it right on the cob. Corn on the cob, I think, is the best thing in the world. I don't put salt or pepper on it or butter or anything. It's perfect the way it is. Corn, I think, is like the perfect food. Yeah, the in terms of cement on the bottom of the lamp, it worked well. I mean, you'll have to watch the episode that goes up in about 2 hours, but yeah, it worked. So what do you do? Do you just simmer it in milk and then just let it go, or what do you add? Do you just add something else to it? The last week's live stream should be available now. There was a long delay because it took them forever to review the video, and then at the end of the day, they finally said that it wasn't suitable for advertising. So at that point, I just said, okay, well, whatever. I guess I'm just not going to put any advertising in that one. And I put it up. So that one, you know what? No advertising on that one. So yeah, maybe that'll be a good one. Maybe people like that one because there are no advertising. There are no ads. In terms of making the cement stick, actually the base thing is actually like a thin sheet metal. And I was concerned about the screw because there's just one screw in the middle there that kind of held the whole thing together. I was a little concerned that that wouldn't be strong enough to hold it. So what I actually ended up doing is just driving some screws into the side of it, into the concrete when the concrete was still kind of damp. And so that should hold everything in place. And then I kind of cheated. I used like duct tape to hold everything in place. So yeah, I think it'll be all right. Yeah, it took about 18 hours for that concrete to set up real hard, but it did better than I thought it would. So yeah, it worked. I've been using the lamp for the last few days. It works great now. Doesn't fall over now, which is the important thing. What I had to do is kind of put it in a corner when the base wasn't working. I had to put it in the corner, and just kind of lean it against the wall there, and that was the only way I could do it. I'll show you in 2 hours when the live stream goes up, because or when the next episode goes up, because yeah, you'll see it there. You'll see me finish it up. Basically, what I did is just put some cardboard on the bottom of it just to protect the floor, so I didn't have, the metal from the base or any of the concrete scratching the floor. Everyone wants to know about the lamp. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. Sorry. I love that lamp. I've got another one that I use too that's just got an incandescent bulb, but I really love those halogen lamps because they just throw an enormous amount of light. You can light up the whole house with just two lamps. When I was looking for a place to live in Texas, basically I looked at Google Maps, and it's funny. It was actually that was one of the questions that came up on when I was interviewing with this company about a week ago. They asked how I picked it up, how I decided on Waco, and I started out saying, well, basically I just pulled up Google Maps, and then they kind of interrupted and said, oh, what'd you do? Like, blindfold yourself and just point? And I said, no blindfolds, no darts involved. Basically, what I just did is just looked at the cities that looked like were decent sized cities and had a good industrial base. And then I came here and visited, and I went to all the different places I looked at, and Waco just kind of I loved it. So, well, the bulbs in those two lamps are still in there. The funny thing is, the bulbs survived the trip. It was the base of that one that didn't. And I guess I knew that was going to be a potential problem because there were problems with that base even before I left. So, one of my pet peeves every time I leave the computer and don't do something for a second, all of a sudden my virus software comes in and wants to do it. And I don't want it interfering with like data transfer rate or trying to download something. So, that restaurant you liked? I forgot the name. I don't know which one that is. There were a bunch of them I liked. I didn't even think about it being Labor Day next weekend. So, yeah, and I guess, yeah, we're getting to the end of the summer here now. So, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I would have loved that job. That would have been a fun one, but something else will come along. The fact that the first job that I got an interview for, I got that close to getting it, that's encouraging. I was disappointed I didn't. It would have been a fun one, but that's just sometimes it happens. Yeah, I get it. You got to kind of keep, stay positive and keep a positive attitude. That's the biggest thing of all. You do that, and a lot of the rest of it will just fall into place. I'm kind of excited about my prospects for a job now. Just like I said, seeing how close I got to this one. Because I never would have even gotten within striking distance if I was back in California. But in California, I would have been competing with like 14 million people. Here, I'm competing with 136,000 people. So that's a big difference. So I get along well with the landlord maintenance people. Yeah, actually, really do. Yeah, they're all really nice people. They're trying their best. I just think sometimes the maintenance people don't really know what they're doing. Landlord's really nice. Yeah, they may have other jobs at the same company, and they know I'm out there. So, and I'm continuing to get daily emails from like Indeed and stuff like that. And so, kind of keeping an eye on what's out there. So, if something else pops up with the same company, I'll definitely jump on it, and maybe that'll be a better opportunity for me. Because they already know me a little bit. Have I ever had cereal? Yes, lots of times. Yeah, that's one of the things that gives me the strength to go on is to know that so many of you are out there rooting for me. So I appreciate that. It means more to me than you could possibly know. Eastern Canada. Okay, well, I'm almost on the East Coast, so you're what, an hour ahead of me and a continent away. Is there a pool in the complex? Yes, there is. I haven't been in it yet, actually. I usually have a problem getting water in my ears, so I don't know. Oh, you're 2 hours ahead of me then, Linda, huh? Okay, because it's a little after 6 here. I guess that makes sense because Canada, I think, kind of extends further out than anything in the U.S. Yeah, I think it's Central Time here. I'm 2 hours because it's Pacific, Mountain, Central, and Eastern Time. So yeah, I'm Central. 9 a.m. Sunday. Okay, other side of the date line. Well, I'm glad you just got on, Nancy. You're right at the beginning, so you didn't miss a whole lot. Winter in Florida when it's Central Time. You must be in the Panhandle then. That's one of the weird things about Florida. Florida is like the one state that actually exists in two timelines. Well, actually, I think probably Alaska probably does too. But in terms of the continental United States, I think basically the timelines go right down state lines, except with Florida. You may recall that we had that issue in the 2000 election where they called Florida for who was it? I don't even remember who the for Al Gore. They called it for Al Gore, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Panhandle came in, and that turned everything around because the Panhandle was in a different time zone. Yeah, it actually rained here pretty hard here for a good 30 minutes, about an hour and a half ago. We got about a half an inch of rain, so that was nice. Cooled things down. That always helps. Yeah, well, you're all right here at the beginning. I've only been going for a little less than 20 minutes, so and you know me, I'll go for a couple hours. I'll usually take it up until my next video goes up, and the next video goes up in about an hour and 40. So, till then, I'm all yours. Yeah, it's hot and humid here too. No, I don't think my parents are ever gonna. I mean, they may sell their house, but I don't think they'll ever leave California. I'm trying to talk them, yeah, trying to talk them into moving into like an assisted living place. There's a senior housing area near my parents' house called Leisure World. Uh, it's basically, it's just a little community of seniors, and basically a lot of people just, it's everything you need in like one little community. So, they could give up their cars and basically just drive around in golf carts all they want. And that would probably be good for them. My sister and I are trying to get them to do that, but you know, Yeah, exactly. It's a retirement village. Cement base worked out well. You'll have to tune into the video in about hour and 40 minutes and see. But yeah, it worked good. I'm happy with how it turned out. Have you ever been on a boat? Yes, lots of times. Yeah, when I have family in Minnesota, and so, you know, land of 10,000 lakes, you can't go to Minnesota and not get on a boat once in a while. Yeah, I don't think it's really an issue with my parents not wanting to spend the money. I think they just, they're just used to living in that house. They've been there, they moved into that house when I was 1 years old. So they've been there for what, 54 years. They're just really attached to the place. So, but I think they're kind of getting to the point where, you know, uh, they're kind of reaching the point where they're going to have to do that. And I think they both know it. I think they just need that little nudge. Ever been to this side of the pond? I mean, I assume you mean over in Europe. If so, I went to Madrid, Spain once when I was in college. Spent a couple weeks there. Oh yeah, sorry KJ, I missed that. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you like the videos, and I'm glad that helps. That helps do that. Helps you helps you keep your spirits up. The bungee jump, that was one of the scariest things I did. I've done parachuting too, and that was pretty fun. I've done some zip lining, and that was pretty fun. Those will appear on future videos at some point. I'll do some flashback thing. You remember my friend Beth? She likes to celebrate her birthday by going and doing some adventuresome thing, and so yeah, a lot of the things that she wants to do were kind of on my bucket list too. So that was, I wanted to do that. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that a lot. She couldn't watch the bungee; it was scary. Now imagine how it was for me. I actually wish I had the GoPro then, because I would have loved to. I've got the GoPro and it's got this little one of the attachments that comes with it is like a little thing that goes around your. They can like a bungee thing that goes around your head, straps to your head, and it would have been fun to bungee jump with that thing, but didn't have it at that point. Had it when I did the zip lining though, so when you get to see that, that'll all be in high def. Unfortunately, when we did the parachuting, I didn't get to do any of the video. They had some guy that just jumped with us and filmed us on the way down. That was just all shot regular NTSC video, so that's all just low res stuff. But it's still good. All that just means is that I'm going to have to, when I do that video, I'm going to have to, you know, shoot, post the video at low res again. But you know what? I can do that. That's happened before. Okay, well, I'm glad you were able to stop in, Kathleen. If you want, I'll be here for probably another hour and a half, so you get a chance to stop back. Make sure you do it. We'll be here. Was it scary jumping or when it was a scary climbing that was actually a rappelling tower, and I'd done that before. That one was a little bit harder because it wasn't so much of the climbing. I think when I did it like when I was in Boy Scouts, and basically you climbed a ladder on the inside and then got up and then rappelled down the side versus actually climbing up that. And I thought it'd be better than I did, but so I chose they had like three different courses up, and there was like an easy, a medium, and a hard one. And I maybe got a little too arrogant and tried the hard one, but I made it about, as you saw, I made it about 80% of the way to the top, and then down I came. Do you fish? I haven't fished in a long time, but once again, I have family in Minnesota, and when you're out on the boat, one of the things you do on the boat is fish. So I have done that, and I love fishing. I just don't do it as much as I'd like to. I have been able to use the floor lamp. Floor lamp works good now. You'll have to watch the video tonight to see the rest of it. And I maybe shouldn't be telling you what happened because then nobody will watch the video. But what won't I eat? I don't know. I haven't run into anything yet. I guess I'm a little creeped out by escargot. So I don't know if I'd do that. But you know what? I've found I didn't think I'd like sushi either, and um, love sushi. I've had oysters, and I'm not a fan of oysters. So can I play an instrument? Not really. I mean, I played clarinet and saxophone in junior high, high school, and a little bit in college, but it wasn't really anything I was into. So yeah, Buzzard Billy's was great. That was a good place, and I love shrimp cocktail too. So you want to know why I had to cut off the plug? Because in order to pull the bass off of it, I had to unstring the cord through the base of it, and the hole for the base was only like that big around, and the plug wouldn't go through that. So I had to cut it off to pull the cord out and take the thing apart properly. I'm assuming what happens is they probably assembled it the other way and put the cord in, then strung it up the base. But once they got it in there, they soldered it to the plug and they soldered it to the top, and I didn't want to go. That was going to be way more complicated, so it was just easier to cut the plug off and do it that way. Have I ever thought about doing a tandem skydive? I have done a tandem skydive. That will show up on one of my flashback videos at some point. I do have video of that. Yeah, I love almost all kinds of seafood too. I've really never found a kind of seafood that I didn't like. Actually, no, I'll strike that. Uh, I found a kind of sushi that I don't really like. I'm not really into octopus. I just thought it was too much like I was chewing on a tire. Wasn't any flavor. It was just like chewing on rubber. So yeah, wasn't into it. I tried it, but and you're right. I'm not really into oysters either. I guess I don't know if that counts as seafood. Just about anything is good with beer. Yeah, I guess I've never thought about starfish. Yeah, that sounds like that might be rubbery too. Do I have any favorite Jordan videos? In terms of the ones I've been a part of, and I've been a part of them. I loved when we did some of the Wayne's World sites. That was always fun. The Poltergeist house was special for me because that was actually something that was kind of I had talked to Jordan about doing, and I think he actually did it. I think for one of his fans who requested it, but you know he let me come along because he knew I'd asked about it too. Oh, I love calamari. Calamari is great. Yeah, I don't know about doing a handyman business. Maybe. Yeah, yeah, I don't think it was really the taste of the oysters that drove me away. It was more that just the texture. I don't know. It just felt like I was swallowing a big loogie. Are the temperatures under 100? Yeah, it's actually it was in the mid 90s a couple hours ago, and then we had a rainstorm blow through here, and it's actually in the mid 80s right now. Oh yeah, I love cheesecake too. Cheesecake is great. You ever been to BSR Surf Park in Waco? No, I haven't. I didn't even know that was here. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't knowledgeable at all about replacing the base on that lamp. That was me just kind of making it up as I go along. I'd been thinking about that for a long time, and I knew I wanted to fix that because I was really disappointed that that lamp was broken. And the lamp itself worked, but the base didn't, didn't stand up anymore. And so I'd been thinking for a long time. I was thinking at one point that I was going to like try and, do some woodwork and make a wooden base out of like oak and then try and put that in there. But I think I would have needed like a lathe to do that. I don't have a lathe. So, then I started thinking about like, some glue or something like that that would set up, maybe some quickset or something like that. And then I kind of moved on to concrete and the concrete worked well. So, have you ever gotten any romantic inquiries from these vlogs? No, not really. You know why? You know anyone? Just the trolls, and I know then I'm not really into them. And actually, the more it happens, the more I'm convinced there's just one troll, and he's got like 50 different accounts. What's my favorite type of beer? I'm really adventuresome with beer, but I'm really a fan of like IPAs, something with a good hoppy flavor. I love a hoppy flavor. In fact, do I still have the bottle over there? No. I found something new. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it's called Voodoo Ranger or something like that. That's an IPA. And I was really impressed with that. That was really good. I had that a few nights ago. And that was yummy. The electric bills went up a little bit, but they're still way lower than they were, in California. If I ran the air conditioning for 2 days in California, it would have been a $200 electric bill at the end of the month. Last one I got was it was a bit more, but at that point I was running the AC 24/7, so that kind of messed up everything. But it was still running the AC 24/7 for 30 days straight. It was $110. So I mean that was worth it. Not to sweat to death in my own house. Yeah, you're right, Nancy. When the temp goes down, I'm not as much of a person for running the heat, but so yeah, you're right. The temperature will go way down, I think, or the bills will go way down when I don't have to run the AC as much. I'm tuned right back in and waving back at you, Michigan. Yeah, I'd rather not be either hot or cold. But I guess I'm more tolerant of the heat than I am of the cold, within reason. It gets too much. I keep the ceiling fans on all the time. In fact, I'm kind of getting to the point where even when it's a little cold, I'll have the ceiling fans on just because I like to have the air moving around. Yeah, I don't know how well I do at a surf park. I've never been surfing, so probably fall on my butt. Probably be funny. How about honey Jack Daniels? I've never tried that. Yeah, my issue with keeping the fan on year round is kind of a recent development. Maybe as I'm getting a little older, I like to have a little cool air moving around. Maybe it gets a little stuffy if I don't do that. Yeah, I expect when we get a few more weeks into this, there'll be a point where I can, where we're kind of in the comfortable point where it stays nice and comfortable in here. It doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, and then I won't have to do anything. But it might get to the point where I have to, later on in the when we get closer to the winter, I might have to have the heat on too. I don't know. We'll see. I can maybe deal with that a little bit because I got a nice comforter and electric blanket, so I think I've tried Angry Orchard a couple times. I don't know if it made that much of an impact on me. Oh yeah, if the electric bill goes down, I won't object to that. No, I haven't found a veterinarian, but they're both pretty healthy, and I had to get them their vaccines right before I shipped them out here. So they're probably good for a while. Probably won't have to worry about it until probably next, you know, next May or next June, something like that. I'm still not that comfortable walking around talking to my camera. I get a little self-conscious about that. Yeah, I think it'll happen probably. I'll probably get a little bit more comfortable with it. I know Jordan was a little self-conscious at the beginning too, and now it doesn't even bother him. I have done it a few times. And I think when I went over and got a new shirt for my job interview a few weeks ago. I think I did a couple scenes where I was walking around the mall talking to the camera, and so it comes with time. But I've always been a little self-conscious about things like that. I don't generally like being on camera to begin with, so that's been a big change. Oh, and a lot of times when he gets photobombed, he'll just cut it out. He did. You don't even see it a lot. I remember one time we were at Disney and he was talking to his camera and somebody jumped behind him and like he did something like that and he stopped recording immediately, turned around and said, "Yeah, you're already cut." More traffic in town since school started. Actually, I went to the grocery store today to one of the HEBs over here, and I was really surprised how packed that place was. And it seemed to be a lot of Baylor kids, so they must all go shopping on the weekends or something like that. I got to remember not to do that so much on Saturdays because it was a pain walking around there. Because I don't know if you ever, for those of you who've never been to HEB, they have these freakishly large shopping carts, much larger than I've seen usually, in the past. So, when you have that, and you have a million people pushing them around aisles, and then people stopping and talking, it just gets to be a pain. At one point, I just literally just dumped the cart and said, "Okay, it's just easier for me to walk around. I'll go get what I need, bring it back to the cart, and just walk back and forth like that." And that worked a lot better. How did the YouTube test go? They didn't demonetize it, so I don't know. Actually, ever since I posted that video, they haven't demonetized any of them. Maybe, I don't know what happened. The thing that really drove me crazy about it was like in a 5-day period, they demonetized like 8 or 10 of my videos, one or two a day, and I'd get one of them corrected, and then they demonetize another one, and then they demonetize another one. It just really, it drove me crazy, and that was what actually encouraged me to do that video because I just wanted to see what it was, what it was that was triggering them so much, But I also sent a couple of comments into them, and maybe they're being a little bit more careful with me. I was talking to Jordan about it, and Jordan was saying that I should be kind of grateful that it's happening now when my subscribers and the income I'm getting is relatively low because once they say once you get a little bit more when you said once you get a little bit more established it'll happen a lot less. So, but yeah, it could be a squeaky wheel thing too, right? You're right, Joey. Oh, I don't know if I'm big enough to have busted YouTube, but I'm not one of these people just lay back and take it either. It really makes me angry. It'd be one thing if they were finding something and saying, yeah, this is definitely inappropriate, and here's what you can't do. But you know, they're letting their analytics do, or they're letting their AI do it all, and their AI is, just got way too many false positives. I've had, 10 or 15 videos demonetized, and all but one of them were remonetized as soon as I put it up for a review. So, you'd think that's bad for them too. You'd think that they wouldn't want false positives because they don't get paid if there's false positives either. You'd think they'd want to try and work on getting that balance just right so that they're demonetizing the stuff that should be demonetized, but not demonetizing things that don't, because, that's their profit margin too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I actually do think it's words. It's certain words that the AI picks up and says that's the issue. Because I don't think the AI is smart enough to hear context. In fact, Jordan was telling me that there was another vlogger. He was just talking to me last night about this, and he said there's another vlogger that rather than saying words, he'll uh, just he'll get up to he'll be talking about something and he'll get to the word that he thinks is going to trigger their AI, and he won't say it, and then he'll type it on the screen, and for some reason that doesn't trigger their AI. I don't know. We'll see. Am I going to sign up for Disney's new streaming service? No, I'm over Disney. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever disable comments to see if the views go up. I actually like reading what you guys write about stuff. So that's a lot of what gives me the energy to keep doing this. Am I right or left-handed? Like 90% of the world, I am right-handed, which means I'm not in my right mind, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess I really knew the answer to the Disney question too. I mean, I didn't really watch a lot of Disney movies even when I worked there. YouTube pays monthly. Usually, it runs the calendar month, and then like 2 weeks later, the check will appear in my account. It's starting to get to the point where I'm getting a little money out of that now, so that's kind of nice. I think in the total time I've been running now, I've gotten about $1,200, so that was nice. Not yet to the point where I can retire on it, but getting there. You'll have to watch today's video about the Mickey ears, because I did on today's video I did go to a trophy shop and we got that done. So yeah, you'll have to watch that. It turned out nice. No, not any, no further job prospects yet, but usually what ends up happening is you have to start applying for things, and then it takes a little while to process through. And the truth is, the job didn't happen just a couple days ago, so it's taken a little bit of time to catch up. Jordan must be making a killing. He's doing well. He's doing well. He's able to support himself completely on YouTube, and I wouldn't mind doing that either, but I'm not there yet. But then again, I'm really new to this. So, Jordan's been doing it for 3 years now. I've been doing it for, I don't know, a few months. I've been really doing it daily for a few months. Prior to that, I had a video pop out, once every week or 2 weeks or month or something like that. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I might do more cooking. I don't know. There's a few things that I think are kind of my specialty, and one of them I think was the rice soup. I thought that that's just kind of something I kind of made up. I'm sure maybe other people have probably done it too. I can't really take credit for it because how much credit can you take for Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, fresh mushrooms, rice, and chicken? It's not like I'm some gourmet cook here. I do want to show you guys my lasagna recipe at some point, but I haven't been able to find the recipe yet. I thought it was like in my with my cookbooks, but I haven't been able to find the cookbooks yet. So that may be something that I have to wait until I move into a house. Have I ever been stung by a bee? No, actually, I haven't. I've been stung by a hornet, which is weird. I was out camping once, and a friend of mine and I were just kind of walking through the woods, and all of a sudden he took off running, and I figured I didn't know what was going on, so I followed him. Well, it turns out he kicked over a hornet's nest or something like that. Yeah, I got a couple stings from that, but I don't know. I guess it isn't as bad. One of the things with bees over hornets is bees tend to have like a barb on it, so when they sting you, the stinger stays inside you. So the hornets, it's just so they can like sting you multiple times because they can pull the stinger out and then hit you again. Whereas when the bee hits you, that's why they die, is because they end up pulling the stinger out, because the stinger stays in your skin. So yeah, when a bee goes after you, it's a suicide run. Yeah, I know that there's probably a lot of lasagna recipes on the box, but this particular recipe is my mom's recipe, and it's my benchmark for how lasagna should taste. Nobody else makes lasagna like that, and I want to. I definitely want to show you that one. Yeah, but Bite's back down here again. He ran upstairs for a few minutes, but he's down. He's just over here, kind of staring at me here. I don't know. Let me see if I can get him to get his attention here. Come on, man. They want to see you. Everyone wants to see you. There's 115 people here dying to see you, and you're just sitting there staring at me. Come on, man. Come on, Bite. Over here. Kitty treat? Scooby snack? Huh? Come on up here. No? You're just spoiled, aren't you? Yes, you are. It's funny. I got the flavor of the kitty treat on my finger, so now he's trying to eat my finger. Nope, doesn't work that way, huh? You want that though, don't you? Come on up here. Come up, say hi. Everybody wants to say hi to you. Come on. Come on. Please come up here so they can say hi. Yeah, there you go. That may be the best we get today. Yeah, at least you're going to get to see him a little. Bribe him, yeah. Yeah, you ever heard of not biting the hand that feeds you? No, you haven't. Yeah, he's like a shark when he goes to something that says, knock my glasses off. I'm not supposed to do that. Whatever. That may be all you get from him. I think last week he was like up here a little bit, so maybe we can coax him up here a bit. No? No more kitty treats? All right, there's one for you. He's a good boy. It's just like I said before, it's got to be on his terms. Do you suppose that the bee ever would ever ask itself, do I feel angry enough to die today? Yeah, I don't know if there's enough brain power in there to do that, but I also kind of think that maybe they know that. I don't know. I don't know how much they know. Probably don't know that much. You got eight meals in one day on the burritos. Yeah, that was fun. I liked making the burritos. Those are fun. It's just you can get exact. That's the beauty of doing your own burritos. You can make them just the way you want them. You get just what you want in them. And hello, Kentucky. Thanks for stopping by. Is it warm there today? And Tennessee too. Hi Amy, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, we've been here for going for about 50 minutes now. I got another hour or so in me. I usually like to take it right up to the release of my next video, and that comes up in about 70 minutes. So I'll stick with you guys for a while. Yeah, I think you're right, Joey. That's the instinct, is just to protect the hive. Hi John, how are you? I'm doing great today. Yeah, we just had a little rainstorm blow through here, so it's a little cooler now than it was. Actually, let me go look see what it actually is outside right now. It is 81 degrees and 76% humidity. So yeah, that's not too bad. I can live with that. That's way better than what it was a few hours ago when it was like 96 and 50% humidity. Yeah, I was a little disappointed I didn't get the job, but I was also kind of glad that I made it as close as I did to it. Because, I mean, let's face it, this is the first job that I got any kind of a serious nibble on. And I made it into the top two. So, that's good. Next one will work. We'll get one at one of these points. Yeah, I've heard of people doing brown beans with bacon too. Actually, that's something else I'd kind of like to try. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it, but I'd like to learn how to make my own chili. I'm well into tech jobs. Yes, I love doing tech jobs, and I wouldn't mind having a tech job. And that's definitely one of the things. But you know what? I'll do anything that looks interesting. It's been tech jobs kind of all my life, so that's kind of what my specialty is. 22 years manufacturing compact discs. After that, 11 years driving floats at Disney. I don't know if that was tech, but it was, somewhat technical because need to know how to operate those things. And, it isn't like a car. You have to deal with, when you have a float that's twice the length of a school bus. You got to know how to turn that so you don't end up taking out, people on the side of the road. Fortunately, that never happened. So. Well, and that was kind of another thing too about the job was this is the first time I've really had to interview for a job in a long time. I mean, even when I interviewed for Disney, it was really easy to do that because it was really an entry level job. I probably haven't had to interview really seriously for a tech job probably since the 80s when I first got into the CD world because I went into there, spent 11 years at the first company I was with, um, and then I got recruited away to another company. So when I went in for the interview, they already wanted me, and so all I had to do is just show them that I knew the technology, and I'd worked with the technology for 11 years, and what I'd worked with was actually in many cases more advanced than what they had. I had to actually bring their technology up when I got there. Fortunately, they gave me a lot of money to spend. There's one point where there was a trade show, and they just said, "Yeah, go to the trade show and come back with a list of things you want." And I had a big long list of things, and they basically bought it all. But I kind of became a hero really quickly there too, and that was kind of cool. When I'd worked at the first CD company, one of the big sources of business that we had was what we called third-party mastering. And what that was, there were a lot of small compact disc replicators out there that didn't have the ability to make the stamper or do the mastering and make the stamper. They just took a stamper that someone else made and they pressed the discs because making the master and the electroplating is really expensive. It's really technical and it's hard to do. So we did that at the first company I worked for, and very soon afterwards we started doing what we called third-party mastering, and that was really a big part of our business. Well, right about the time I left, That company got bought out by a competitor, and that competitor didn't want to do the third-party mastering issue anymore because they had a problem with it because of piracy issues. At that time, they were starting to get really concerned about disk piracy, and disk replicators, if they were making pirated disks, were getting sued to oblivion. So this company decided they didn't want to do it, and they discontinued. And all of a sudden, all of these replicators who were depending on us for making their stampers, they were out in the cold. Well, at that point, I'd moved over to the second company, and it turns out one of the customer service reps at the first company, about 6 months before I left and went to one of these little third-party companies. And she found out that I'd gone over to the second company and called me on the phone one day and told me that DMI had discontinued doing their third-party mastering and wanted to know if I would do it. And I went to my boss and said, hey, I've got a potential business opportunity for us if we're interested. And they were interested in it. And almost immediately, we picked up all of DMI's third-party mastering. And that really made me a hero over there because prior to that, we were making maybe 5 masters a week. And, it takes an hour and a half to make one. And we had 2 mastering machines and we were running 2 shifts a day, 5 days a week. So, there wasn't a whole lot of business. Well, when we picked that up, all of a sudden we went from doing 5 masters a week to 100. And, we were giving away overtime like crazy. And see, that was a big part of the reason why I became the hero and why they basically gave me a blank check when I went to that trade show because, I brought in so much more business. In fact, my division became profitable for the first time in the company's history because of that. It had always just been an expense prior to that. And, we made a lot of money. I actually do have a Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. My mom got me one of those. She had one her whole life, and so when I got into my own place, she bought me one too. So I do have a Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, and it's good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. It's a little bit more modern than hers. Hers was all just paper, and so over the years, all the cooking and the grease and all that, just stained up all the pages and all that. But the ones they do now, they must obviously have known that happens because they're all like all the pages are laminated now, so they don't get greasy and oily and all that. Have I looked into any houses? No, I haven't really. I mean, I came here back in January to scope the place out, and I looked at houses then. But while I've been here, I haven't really been doing that because I want to get a job and make sure I'm in the place I want to be before I actually try and find a house. That was why I moved into an apartment initially because I didn't want to set down roots somewhere and then all of a sudden find a job that's 50 miles away. And it's like, now what do I do? So that was kind of why I started with an apartment, because now if I need be, if something comes up, I can, dump the apartment and go somewhere else. You don't like cooking just for yourself. It kind of became a necessity for me because I'm not really one that likes to go out and eat a whole lot. I've done a little bit more of it here. Basically, I think when I was back in California and I did go out, it was, fast food, and I just kind of burned myself out on fast food. So that's why I've been kind of doing, the restaurant vlogs and kind of these one-off restaurants because I want to try something that I haven't ever had yet. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing, Emma. I'll sometimes like dig around the internet and find a recipe that, oh wow, that looks good. The ingredients look really yummy. I want to maybe try that, and so I'll try it, and if I like it, then I'll print it out and laminate it and put it in my cookbook. I got a couple cookbooks, but yeah, I do the same thing, Emma. Do I have a big freezer? Yes, I do have a big freezer, and that's what I would do is I'll usually go to like Costco and every year for Christmas, my mom usually gets me a $500 Costco gift card. And what I'll do is I'll sit on that until I'm ready to use it, and I'll go out, I'll like buy $500 worth of meat, and I'll buy, packages and packages of pork chops, and packages of chicken, and packages of steak, and everything I like, and then I'll individually wrap them up and put them in the deep freeze, and I'll eat for a year on that. And that's always been one of my mom's big concerns, is that I would not be eating well. So that she always made it a point to do that. That's funny you mentioned that, Cindy. I drove by Catfish King today, and I was looking at that, and I thought, oh wow, because I've never really had a lot of catfish in my life, but I've had it a few times here, and I've actually been really kind of a big fan of it. So I was actually wondering if that was good. So actually, maybe that'll show up in one of my restaurant vlogs, because that was literally right down, like just a couple hundred yards from the ATB I went today. So yeah, maybe I'll hit that. Now that I've had somebody, it looks like the kind of thing that it might be just kind of a chain kind of thing, but I'm glad you like the glasses. Yeah, I need the glasses just to read. I'm good at distance, but yeah, that seems to be a common thing with moms. And yes, you're right. That is a walking stick in the background that was made for me by one of my neighbors. I actually talked about it, about the origins about it and what it all means, in my first vlog. So if you're really interested, go back and check that one out, because that was something really nice that one of my neighbors made. She basically came up to me when she found out I was moving and said, "Oh, I want to make something for you." And then a few weeks later, she presented that to me, and she kind of told me what it's all about. It's really nice. I'm really proud of it. It's a beautiful piece. I love it. Actually, I made a friend just a couple days ago. I'll talk about this in a couple days on my vlog. But what ended up happening, I've told you in the past that the apartment complex is trying to give this place kind of a facelift, and they've been painting and they've been doing a lot of upgrades around here. Well, one of the things they did was they repaired and then repainted the carports. Well, unfortunately, they didn't communicate very well when they were going to do the painting, and these idiots got paint all over my car. There's like thousands and thousands of little white dots all over my car, and it really, really made me angry. I kind of let the landlord know that I was not that thrilled with it. Well, it turns out one of my neighbors used to have a auto detailing business, and he just approached me one day. He'd noticed my car was all covered with paint and wanted to know if if I was interested in him fixing that. And I said, yeah, I'd definitely be interested. Definitely interested in talking about it. And so he said, okay, well, I'll come and talk to you about it at some point. And a couple of days later, he came up to me and said, "Yeah, can we talk about that?" And I said, "Yeah, you want to talk about it right now?" And he said, "Yeah." So we went on and talked about it, and he talked about what he was going to do. And I guess he's got this like something he calls a clay bar. I've never heard of it before, but it's got kind of like it's like a wad of clay, and you get it wet and you kind of rub it on the paint, and it peels the paint off without taking the finish. And he demonstrated to me. He just did like a little 6-inch spot of the car where, after a couple minutes of just water and rubbing this clay bar thing on there with some, little elbow grease, he managed to get the paint off there. And I said, okay, well, what would you charge to do that, do the whole car? And he says, well, I've had people pay me almost $400 to do it. And I initially thought, wow, that's a lot. But I ultimately decided, the car looks horrible. It's a brand new car. I've had it for like 6 months. And so I was really, really angry that they messed it up like that. And I said, so, well, you know what? It's either dealing with my brand new car that's now covered with white spots of paint, or getting it repainted. And that's going to be a lot more than $395, or let this guy do it. And he actually did it for $325. And he basically started doing it yesterday afternoon, about 3 in the afternoon. And he really put the time in on it. He worked on that car constantly last night, yesterday when it was 95 degrees out there. I really felt sorry for the guy, and he worked on it until 10 o'clock last night, and then he was out there at 7 a.m. this morning working on it again, and he detailed that car. And that car, I think the car looks better now than I think when I bought it. So he did a fantastic job. He earned every penny. And he actually cut me a little deal. He did it for 325. So you know it was worth it. He earned his money. He worked his butt off and got that. That car looks fantastic. In fact, it's almost too good now because the car is so beautiful now that you can see every little teeny tiny flaw. I guess a few people over the last few months have dinged it with their car doors, and you can see every ding on it now. But the car looks beautiful. So yeah, it was worth every paint, every penny that guy earned. He earned his money. So I was happy to pay him for that. Yeah, they probably should. The paint. You're right. The apartment probably should, but I doubt they will. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of any fairs or festivals around here, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, he put like he worked on that thing for I don't know, probably a good 10 or 11 hours. It was a brand new car. It was brand new. It was a brand new Honda that I got right off the lot back in I don't know February or March. So I'd had it for 6 months, and yeah, I tried. I don't know how to pronounce it, but whatever you mentioned. I don't know how to pronounce that word, Monty. But there was one that I tried initially when I was here. I wasn't impressed with it, but there are a couple more around there. Um, so I don't know. Maybe we'll. Yeah, I think the one I was looking at was on Robertson Drive. Well, like with everything else, VNA, I think they hired the cheapest person they could get, and it was stupid because every once in a while the landlord would put something in the mailbox says, "Okay, we're going to paint the carports today, so make sure you get your car out of the carport." And so I'd get it out of there, and then they wouldn't do anything that day, and they wouldn't do anything the next day, and they wouldn't do anything the next day. So then I'd give up and put my car back in there, and that's when they painted. So, and I mean, sometimes they covered the car, other times they didn't. So, this one time they didn't, and they just splattered the car with paint. It looked horrible. Yeah, maybe I can. Like I said, the I actually bought a model of a car I didn't particularly like just because the color popped. I looked at all the. I had a specific model in mind, and but they had this one on the lot, and it was just such a beautiful, stunning color of blue. All the other colors were just kind of bland, but they had this kind of like glitter in the paint where it just almost sparkled, and it just it was a paint color really that sold me on it. And so I was really disappointed when it got all covered up. So this guy got it back to like new finish, and I mean he polished it and he waxed it. And he had a polisher out there, and yeah, he spent his time on it. Like I said, he earned his money on that. Yeah, I definitely want to have a garage. I'm not so much concerned about the thunderstorm activity, but I'm concerned about hail, and because we it does hail here. That's generally when you get a real powerful thunderstorm, that's what happens there. Yeah, I don't know what it's actually called, but yeah, metal flake blue is probably a good name for it. I haven't really gotten to the point where I miss Jordan because we talk often enough that it isn't really an issue. I actually miss Jaw. Yeah, I hope he'll come and visit me some point. Yeah, yeah, I don't want to deal with having to scrape the ice off windshields. That's not gonna be any fun. Have I ever been to Iceland? No, that would be fun though. Actually, I really would like to go to Iceland because I'm really into geology, and Iceland has a really interesting geological feature to it. As you know, if you've running down the middle of the Atlantic Ocean is a divergent plate boundary, which is kind of what drives everything else in there. And that divergent plate boundary comes ashore one place on the planet. That's right through the middle of Iceland. And so I'd love to go see that, just to see that. Yeah, but there's always a heat wave in Bakersfield. I don't think that place ever gets below like 90 degrees. That's you just know when you go to Bakersfield, that's what's going to happen. It's like living in Las Vegas. Yeah, except the sloppy work in this case wasn't actually the maintenance people this time. This was some outside contractor, but I'm sure what they did is they just who will do it for cheapest. Unfortunately, there isn't a who's going to do the best job. It's who's going to do it for the least amount of money. Have I ever been to Norway? No, that would be fun though. I would love to go to Norway. Yeah, I've been in Alabama, so I'm guessing that Tennessee is probably a lot the same. It's very beautiful in Alabama. I loved it there. I spent a summer there one year. Okay, that's it. You're done. Bye bye. Does flying scare me? No, but sometimes the landing scares me. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Emma. Yeah, I would never want to park my car under a pine tree. It just gets that sap on there, and then that never comes off. Do I have an iPad? No, I have. I'm a Android person, so I have an Android pad. It was something that came virtually free when I got my last cell phone, and I've actually used it a few times. One of the things, when I go and do those flashback videos where I have like, old video that's just like NTSC. Um, I found out recently. I tried to, when I shoot something that's NTSC rather than high def, um, I want to shoot the whole video NTSC. And I found out when I tried to do the first one that my cell phone won't actually let me shoot NTSC, but my pad would. So it's nice to be able to have that to fall back onto. The pad doesn't do quite as well on the high def, but at least not as well as the cell phone does, but it will let me do the NTSC. So yeah, it'd be fun to come see the Smokies. Have I watched Netflix? Yes, yeah, I have. I've had Netflix for a while. Don't watch it a whole lot right now, but I do have it. Basically, because I'm a big Star Trek nerd, and I love the fact that all the Star Trek series are on Netflix. Yeah, I guess I can understand that too about fruit bat guano, for I think if you're going to use the real term, because yeah, when you're a creature that's eating a lot of fruits, you have a tendency to have real sticky guano, and yeah, I would guess that's probably just as bad, if not worse, than tree sap. All right. Congratulations, Vicky. I'm glad you do it. Yeah, it's pretty common. I'll usually come on here about this time on either Saturday or Sundays. Usually, what I'll do is I'll go do like a restaurant vlog, and then go from there. And do a live stream on the same day. I actually did a restaurant vlog yesterday because I kind of thought that this guy who cleaned up my car for me was going to do that today, and I figured he was going to need the whole day to do it. So, I figured, okay, well, I'll go do the restaurant vlog yesterday, and come back and do something else today. It turns out he actually did that yesterday. He started it yesterday, but that's okay. We got it all done. But we'll still do the live stream today. How did the YouTube experiment go? I don't know. I guess it was a fail. I failed to get him to demonetize my video, but it just I think maybe they got to the point where they maybe realized something's going on, and maybe they're not hitting me as hard. The thing that frustrated me is that it was like 7 or 8 videos or 10 videos or something that got demonetized, just one after another. I deal with one, and then they demonetize another, and I deal with that one, they demonetize another, and it just went on. It just got to the point where it really kind of frustrated me. So I ended up just that was what resulted in the let's do this is a test video. But they didn't demonetize that, despite the fact that I tried to throw all those trigger words in there. It's funny though, the live stream I did last week, they demonetized it, and it's still demonetized. You think he'll take in a Baylor game this year? Yeah, probably not. Just kidding. Yeah, no, probably not. I'm not really that into sports. I went to a few basketball and baseball games with Jordan, but and they were fun. I like going to them, but it's not something that I'm going to get into it. It's not something I'm going to turn on the TV and watch a game. It's not that interesting. I have more fun playing sports than I do watching them. Do I ride a bicycle? I do have a bicycle here. It's been a little bit hot to ride it around, but I actually did get out and ride just a little bit yesterday, basically just because I had to go get some money to pay this guy that fixed my car. And I would have normally just driven the car over, but I figured, well, I want to be able to pay him when he finishes, and it was clear that he was doing an excellent job, so I knew I was going to be happy with the work, and I was way more than happy with the work. So, well, I'll tell you, there's been some confusion in the comments about that. This is a test video, and about why videos are demonetized and all that. So actually, the video I recorded today was trying to clarify that. So that video will be out on Tuesday, and you can judge that one. That wasn't really me trying to trigger YouTube so much as explain why people were a little bit confused about what was going on. Because I think everyone had the kind of the same confusion on the issue, and I think that probably it's probably just that I didn't explain it clearly enough, and so I just kind of felt the need to kind of clarify a little bit. So I did another one of those. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have seen Baylor banners at other bars, so I don't know if that's what the issue, but maybe it is. Maybe it's one thing if they serve alcohol, and another thing if they actually have an actual bar in there. I don't know. I'll have to think about that when I'm going into restaurants and bars in the future and look around and see if I've seen any Baylor stuff. Yeah, I know the Baylor is a Christian college. I don't know specifically what denomination it is. How am I handling the heat? I'm dealing with it. I mean, it isn't really that big of a thing with me because, I lived in California, um, and it gets hot there too. So it isn't really that big of a deal. Yeah, okay, fine. It's been 95 degrees, give or take for the last 3 months, but that happens in California sometimes. The only really difference I think is that the humidity is a factor. And if you ever give the cats a bath, please vlog it. Yeah, they've never had a bath yet in their life, and I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine that turning out well. Right out of high school, I worked at a vet, and I had to give cats baths then, and yeah, that wasn't fun. Oh, there we go. There's somebody I know. Hey, Jordan, how's it going, buddy? Are you back home yet? Everyone was asking a little bit ago. Actually, with Star Trek, I'm more into the Next Generation stuff. I was a huge fan of it before the Next Generation came along, but I think the cheesy effects and stuff like that just kind of gets on my nerves. Okay, yeah. So Jordan's back home. That's cool. Yeah, we're enjoying your videos, Jordan. Yeah, we've only had one troll yet, and he just asked a stupid question. It wasn't even the same kind of stuff that you get. We blocked him. He's done. Do you enjoy the Reese? I don't know what that is. Might be a typo. Ah, okay. Researching part of the vlog. Yeah, I mean sometimes I don't research maybe as well as Jordan does, but sometimes I'll get to know a little something. I think I researched the tornado vlog a lot more than I expected because I went into that kind of knowing where I wanted to go and what I wanted to see and all that, and I knew that there had been some damage to the Dr. Pepper Museum, so I knew I wanted to go over and visit that. And yeah, that video turned out well. I was really pleased with that one. I think that was the best video I've done so far. It's funny though, I'm really baffled. The videos where I think they're going to do the best, when I go out and do something that I think is interesting, those are the ones that nobody really seems to be interested in. The videos that everyone watches are the ones that are just me sitting in the chair talking to the camera, which is really kind of funny. I didn't really do a lot of homework on the earthquake video, but I've taken some college geology classes, so I knew a bunch about it. Um, the only real research I did on that was just like looking for pictures and looking for videos, and then trying to find graphics that demonstrated the different kinds of faults and the different kinds of things that are happening. Well, I don't know how good I'd be in a Trivial Pursuit game unless it was like, it's got to be something I'm interested in. I'm kind of like Jordan on that. There's things I'm interested in and things I'm not as interested in. And if I try to do something that I'm not interested in, like when Jordan tries to do a vlog he's not interested in, it's just not going to be as good. Am I religious? No, not particularly. I'll just say I kind of keep an open mind. A big fan of caulking compound here. Yeah, everyone seemed to like the caulking compound joke on the fixing the lamp vlog. I actually did end up giving that concrete to the maintenance guys. They were happy to use it. I paid $3 for it, so you know what? I got what I wanted out of it. I got, it was a bag that had been damaged, and they were selling it at half price. So, and I only wanted 5 pounds of it. And unfortunately, you got to buy 80 pounds. You can't buy 5 pounds of concrete. You got to buy 80 pounds of it. So I used what I needed to fix the lamp, and then we went from there. How far from Dallas? I'm about 100 miles from Dallas. I'm kind of equidistant between Dallas and Austin. Interest in geology should lead me to oil exploration. Yeah, I'm kind of at a point in my life, though, I don't really want to work outside anymore. I did that for 11 years at Disney, and it's just kind of miserable. I want an indoor job. That's kind of one of the things I'm looking for. That's one of the reasons I've been turning down a lot of the jobs that I might otherwise take because, I'm just over being outside. I love being outside when I worked at Disney, but it's kind of hard, when it's hot. And it's even worse when it's cold. I mean, I guess if I get a job, working inside for an oil company, that'd be fine. But I guess I want to know more about climate change. I'm not sure whether it's how legitimate it is. I think a lot of it has become political, and when you get to the point where the one thing I think that bugs me the most about climate change is when people say the science is settled and you're no longer allowed to debate it. And it's like, no, that's not science. That's religion. Science is always open for debate. I remind you that 500 years ago, everyone thought that the earth was flat, and one guy changed that. So, I want to hear more. And when it comes to science, when you get to the point where you say it's settled, you can't debate it anymore. It's like, no, it isn't settled. I don't think anything's settled. There's no such thing as settled science. Science is a search for truth. It's theories that are supported or not supported by the evidence. Yeah, see, I think there's a big difference between being religious and being spiritual. There's a big difference there. Yeah, and with the geology vlogs or with any of those things, I kind of want to do something that's kind of topical. The reason I did that earthquake vlog is because there was that big earthquake in California. I know it sounds kind of horrible to say, but I'd really love to do a vlog on tsunamis, but I don't want to do that until it's topical. So I kind of need to wait for that to happen. And unfortunately, tsunamis are bad, but I'm also into astronomy. In fact, I'll let you guys all know on a secret. I went out today and purchased a solar telescope because I saw on my Facebook profile a couple days ago, or on my timeline a couple days ago, that there is going to be a total solar eclipse in 2024. I think April of 2024, and the area of totality is going to go right through the middle of Waco. So if I'm here then, I would love to do that. And I decided to go out and buy a solar telescope today just so I could do that. And so I'm very excited about that. I got it on Amazon.com and it should be here in a week or 10 days. I actually saw one of them when I was with my parents in Yosemite a number of years ago. My father and I kind of decided to walk up the backside of Half Dome. You can climb up Half Dome if you want, or you can drive up there and get to the top of it. Well, when we were up there was a guy that had a solar telescope, and I'd never seen one before, and it was fascinating because it projected this huge image of the sun on a sheet of paper, and you could look at it and you could see the corona, and you could see the solar flares, and you could see sunspots. And this was like 20 years ago, and I wanted to get one ever since. And when I saw that solar eclipse is coming through here in a few years, I knew I wanted to have one so I could watch that. I figured what I can do is I can set up the GoPro or something like that, so I can record the whole thing and have a whole video of the whole event as it happens. Because solar eclipses, that takes they take a couple hours to go from beginning to end, so that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I have a telescope too. It's kind of just a cheesy one. It's a what, a 6-inch refractor telescope. But you can see Saturn, you can see the rings, you can see Jupiter, you can see four of its moons, you can see Venus, you can see Mars. It's not much good for much more than that. Did the cat show up yet? Yeah, Bite's been around a couple times. We managed to get him on camera a little bit, but yeah, he's just being a cat. Let's just put it that way. Let's see if I can coax him down here. Yeah, here he is down the stairs. He's down the stairs now. Come on, buddy. We'll try again. Meow. No? Why won't you come and say hi to everyone? You did it the other day. You did it last week. And then what they do, they demonetized it. That must be the reason. They got offended seeing you on video and they demonetized the video for that. It's your fault, isn't it? I knew it. It had to be something like that. You said something when I wasn't watching, didn't you? That was what it is. That was what freaked out YouTube, right? I'm not going to say it's fake. I'm not going to say global warming's fake. Like I said, I question anybody when they say, yeah, you're not allowed to debate it anymore. The science is settled. No, that science is never settled. I think there's more evidence of evolution than there is of global warming. And with evolution, we still call it the theory of evolution. We don't call it the fact of evolution because we're still open to the idea that it might be something else. It's getting harder and harder to deny that, but you never know. I mean, what I do know from my geology class is that volcanoes belch out more CO2 than humans have produced in the entire history of time. So even if it is real, I'm not sure what we can do about it. And I can't help but thinking that that big nuclear reactor 93 million miles away has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know where the nearest planetarium is. I'm sure there's one around here. I have to check it out some point because that would be fun. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to vlog that though because it's not really easy to vlog something in the dark. Like I said, I just want to keep my eyes or my mind open for on the global warming thing. Well, one of the things I know about it is that in the what 1700s to 1800s, there was something they had called a little ice age. You remember all those pictures of George Washington crossing the Potomac on Christmas during the Revolutionary War? Yeah, normally the Potomac isn't that frozen solid, but because they were in the middle of a little ice age during that time period, um, you know, that's what happened. But what is the end of an ice age but a period of warming? I haven't really seen any dark sky areas. I mean, I remember when I'd go to Minnesota and you'd get out there in the middle of nowhere and you could look up and there's just, you could see the Milky Way and there's just millions and millions of stars up there. I haven't been able, I think, get far enough away things to be able to see that. See, I'm not going to go that far and say man cannot control the climate either. Like I said, I want to hear more, and I'm generally turned off by people when they say that you know the science is settled. You're not allowed to debate anymore. It's like, yeah, no, that's not science. That's religion. I did vlog the Mayborn, but I didn't see a planetarium there. I mean, it's possible it's there and I just missed it, but I think I covered every part of it. Oh, it was actually an interesting question. I'll have to look it up, see if there are any planetariums around here. I do watch Jordan's vlogs. I'm a little bit behind right now, but I've, except for the ones I haven't seen yet, I've seen them all. Um, Ones I like, I like a lot of the ones that we go to. I enjoyed, we went to Las Vegas and we got to see the gold and silver pawn shop. That was fun. I enjoyed the Wayne's World videos when we did that. I enjoyed the going to see the Simpsons house in Las Vegas. I enjoyed going to see the Poltergeist house. I don't know. I'm sure if I stopped and think about it, I could probably come up with a whole bunch of others. But I've had a lot of fun times watching Jordan's vlogs. He's a good vlogger. What can you say? Good barbecue in Waco? Yeah, I've had a few of them. I had a few good barbecues. I've done some vlogs on them, and they'll probably do more. Thank you, Single Mom Life. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. Mayborn is in Killeen. Okay, well, Killeen's not that far away. When I was going down to Temple to unload my pods, Killeen is just like right there. It's just a little bit further than that. Tell the cats they need to get used to the camera so you can see them. Yeah, well, I mean, you know how much of a problem Jordan has getting Jaw to be on camera. And he's doing a live stream. What's Jaw doing? He's just sitting back there sleeping. Yeah, thank you for about the job, but you know what? I'm really encouraged the fact that I made it that close to the top because I was number two. That's not bad for the first job that I got any kind of a call back on. So you know what? I'll get the next one, or I'll get the one after that. I'm going to keep looking. I'm not going to lose faith. It happens. Is that the one in Killeen, Linda? Because yeah, I mean, I love going to a good planetarium. Like I said, it might not even be something that I would vlog. It just might go for my own interest. Definitely have to check that out then maybe. Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of jobs around here and they're doing all right. So, you know what? I'm going to keep looking and something else will come up. And who knows, maybe that one person, you know, maybe that one person that they did hire won't work out, and then they'll say, hey, you still interested? Who knows? What's been my favorite restaurant in Waco? I don't know. There've been a number of them that have been good. I've had a couple of good barbecues. I guess I would probably go with that Texas Roadhouse. That wasn't even really a supposed to be a restaurant vlog. That was just I came back after the last day of it, unloading the pods, and I was just so worn out that I wanted to get something. I wanted to get something good. But yeah, that was good. Hello, Jeff. Thanks for stopping in. If you say you were smart enough and damn it, people like you, then I don't know, we're gonna have a problem. But yeah, I saw First Man. That was pretty good. Oh yeah, Jordan's been lurking here for 20 or 30 minutes. He just isn't making his presence known because he doesn't have any trolls to kill. At least not so far. It's funny, yeah. We've except for the one that we had right back early on. You know, been a pretty quiet night. I think it was Jordan that actually recommended I go see First Man because he'd seen it and said it was really good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could maybe do some of that. Do a little handyman stuff. There's things I could do, but oftentimes they you need to have insurance to do it, and that kind of stuff. Because you do something wrong, there's a big problem there. So I don't know. Could be. It'd have to just be kind of a one-on-one thing, kind of like that guy that worked on my car. How about a cat trainer? I can't train my own cat, so no, that would be a horrible idea. I can't even get one to let me touch her, and then the other one won't even come when I'm dishing out the treats. Well, yeah, you'll come up here and beg for the treats, but you won't jump up here on the couch and say hi to everyone, will you? Yeah, yeah, we're about 15 minutes away from part two of the lamp vlog. Doing. Hey, Billy, what up? Yeah, I'm actually hoping that maybe I do get a few things to work on in a new house. Because that would be a lot of great vlog content. And I wouldn't mind putting a little bit of money into my own place. I'm kind of limited to the things I can do here. There's a lot of things that need some work around here, but you know, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on here. I'll spend money if it's a couple bucks here or there. When I replaced the closet door, it was a couple of screws, and that was the end of it. Have I ever traveled to Washington D.C.? No, no, but I'd like to do that. There's a lot of things around there I'd like to see. I've been to Boston. That was fascinating. I was on a business trip a number of years ago in late October, and actually the funnest part of that, while I did go to the Boston Commons and see a lot of the historical places there. I think the funnest place I had was when my boss's secretary recommended that, hey, you're going to be there over Halloween. You really ought to go and see Salem. And so I spent Halloween night in Salem, Massachusetts. That was a lot of fun. That town just comes apart on Halloween. Do I want a house with acreage? Yes, absolutely. I'd love to have, a big plot of land. I had the biggest plot of land in my house in California, but it's, not, it still wasn't big enough for me. I'd love, because I love just getting out and tinkering around in the yard. And unfortunately, everything that, I'd filled up everything. So, my parents knew I was big into that stuff and they'd get me plants. It was like I'd have no place to put them. So, when am I going to get my first vlogger tattoo? I don't know. I don't know if I do that. I'm not really against it. The issue is tattoos are permanent, and I don't know, if there's anything I'd want to. I can't think of anything right now that I can say definitely is going to be important to me for the rest of my life. I have thought about getting chickens. Actually, there's like a farmer's store here that I've visited a couple times. I've been halfway thinking about vlogging, and I've seen several times they've had baby chickens in there. It would be fun to have fresh eggs every day. El Paso, that's a long ways away. That's because that's like on the other end of the state. That's probably what 400 or 500 miles, something like that. It's people forget how big of a state Texas is. Texas is like three Californias. California is probably the third biggest state. Then it's Texas. Then it's Alaska. And Alaska is like half the size of the continental United States. You never know that. You never get that idea when you look at it on a map because, it's always like here and then here's the United States and then here's Hawaii. But you look at it, on a world map, it's like it's huge compared to the U.S. Total ground area is like half the continental United States just in Alaska. I don't know if I'd want to be a teacher. I enjoy teaching too much, and I think it would ruin it for me. And I don't know if I was. One of the things I loved doing at Disney was being a trainer there, and that was a lot of fun. But I was dealing with adults too. I don't know if I'd have the patience with children. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. And I should actually probably pay for the whole thing because I think all I really had to buy for it was like a couple of $1 screws, $3 for the concrete, and the new plug for the lamp. So yeah, you basically just paid for that. Thanks, Jeff. I've had people tell me that'd be a good teacher. It could probably it might happen, but I don't know. You got to kind of go to college for that, and at this point in my life, I'm probably a little too old for that. If I were to go to college, um, then what would end up happening is it'd take me until I was ready to retire before I was out of college. And then at that point, what's the point? But that is one of the things when I was applying for that job that I didn't get. Actually, after I got back from the interview, and I sent a thank you note to the people that interviewed me, and I said one of the things that I forgot to mention when we were there was that I'm a pretty good trainer, and so once I get to the point where I know the job that you're going to teach me, I'll be the person that you'll be coming to teach your next new people. And I've done that a lot. Every job I've ever had, I've trained the people that came after me. Thanks. I'm glad you like my vids, Billy. Billy. The cooking too. Yeah, I'll do more of those at some point. I do want to show you guys my mom's lasagna recipe, but I haven't been able to find the recipe yet. So Maybe I can get my mom to mail it out to me, but I know I have it. It's written down somewhere. It isn't where I thought it was. And about a week or two ago, I went into the storage locker because I have this like microwave table that I built a few years ago. And I like keep my cookbooks in there. And I thought for sure that the cookbooks were all in there, but they weren't. And I think probably I ended up packing in one of the boxes. So we'll have to do that at some point. Trying to catch up here with what some people are saying because when I'm talking, I'm tending to look at the camera and not paying attention to what's happening over here. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Yeah, something better will come along. Like I said, I was encouraged that on the real first job offer I had, that I made it so close to the top. I made it to number two, so I can't complain about that. I think I mentioned before, I never would have even been seriously considered for that job if I'd applied for it in California. But in California, I'd be competing against 14 million people. I'm competing against 136,000 people here. It's a lot easier to rise to the top when there aren't that many people. What I look forward to is when I get into a house, getting the chance to show you some of my woodworking because I do some woodworking. I made some stuff at home when I was in California. For those of you who commented on my DVD collection the other day when you were seeing that in the video, yeah, I made that. I made that DVD rack. No, it's not even comparing apples and oranges. It's comparing apples and Volkswagens. It's that different. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, sorry you got to drop in right at the end, but yeah, the video will be up. You'll be able to keep watching. You'll be able to watch it. I'll post it just like usual. But I'm glad you got in here for a few minutes. So I do mitered corners. I've not really. I'm kind of self-trained when it comes to woodwork. So no, I haven't really developed the point, but I would like to learn how to do that. I've been thinking it'd be fun to go to take a college class and actually learn how to do it rather than just stumbling along blindly. Thanks for stopping in, Joey. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you ever wonder, usually when I start these live streams, I usually start at 6 o'clock Texas time. So, figure out what time my videos usually go up, and it's usually 2 hours before that. But I'll do it on either Saturday or Sunday. So usually one or the other, and if it isn't one, it'll be the other one. Haven't found any woodcrafters stores around here, but then again, I haven't really looked yet. There was a really cool woodworking store that I used to go to near my place in California that I visit a lot. And they have like little seminars there too. But yeah, spoiler alert, Jeff. The lamp turned out well. Turned out better than I thought it would. You'll probably laugh at some of the cheesy things I did, but it worked. I didn't use any caulking compound, but I did use duct tape. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. And for those of you who are asking about the Halloween store, you're gonna see that in tomorrow's video. I think is when I do that. So hope you enjoyed that. That was fun. I had a lot of fun at that place. I love places like that. It makes it so easy to do the videos too, because I can just point at something, make some stupid witty comment, and then move on to the next thing. And when you have 50 or 80 or 100 clips, it's really easy to make a nice video. Not as easy to do that when you have just a couple of clips. So those are the fun things. Yeah, I know. I'm still baffled that people watch this. Still trying to figure out what it is exactly you like, but I'm getting there. Yeah, well, and when I use duct tape, I don't use regular duct tape. They got this industrial strength duct tape. I think it's made by the same people that do Gorilla Glue. And this stuff is I've used this stuff before, and this stuff is great. It's a hold on to everything. In fact, I have like one of those folding chair things that like wrap up and you put it in a bag. Or right off the bat, the bag started tearing because they put way more effort into the chair than they did into the bag. I was actually able to fix the bag with duct tape with this Gorilla Glue duct tape. So, do I have any vintage Halloween decorations? No, everything I have is stuff I bought the last few years. Well, I have been drinking my water. I'm about halfway through my water already. You watch the videos and you'll see me drink a few times. I think I'm getting my voice is probably getting to the point now where I'm a little bit more used to talking for longer periods of time. I used to have problems with that when I'd be training people at Disney too, because I'd talk so much I'd just talk myself hoarse. No, I'm probably not going to apply for employment at the Halloween store because that's a pop up thing. I need a full time job, not something that's going to be done in 2 months. I could run in 2020. My slogan could be "That's not how it's done." Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm glad you enjoy all that. Sometimes I crack myself up too. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to work at a Halloween store if the money was good and if it was open all year round. They had a few of them in California that were open all year round, but even there, I don't think they pay that much, and it's too expensive living in California. So you're saying my vlog is a vlog about nothing, David? Oh, I see it's 8 o'clock. So my new video's up. So I'm going to pull the plug on this. Thank you as always for watching, and see you next week. Good night, everyone.